Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Thursday, March the 26th. The year is 2020. Let's talk trading. WALMAL method, day 21. And once again, I've got WALMAL on the line.
Hello, fellow traders. I almost said good morning, but I don't know when you're going to be watching this, so that probably wouldn't be appropriate.
Yeah. Okay, now... Here's our disclaimer. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Trading is extremely risky. You can lose all of your money. If you need trading, investment, or financial advice, seek the advice of an accredited financial professional. And boys and girls, we always talk about money and risk management up front. And we don't want you losing any more on any particular trade than you're willing to lose. That's your risk. So make sure you have your position size and stop loss accordingly. I sent an article that I read this morning to WALMAL, and we both agree it's pretty good. It talks about luck and preparation. You've probably heard the expression, when preparation meets opportunity, that's when luck happens. But I added something else to the equation. It's preparation plus opportunity plus action equals luck. Because when we're doing the WALMAL method, or it could be any method for that matter, you have opportunities to trade. You trade at the line. So are you prepared to trade at the line? Well, if you're sitting at your computer screen and you've got your trading platform open, then you're prepared. But when price meets the line, do you take action? What do you say, WALMAL?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, if you just sit on your hands and you're not ready to go and do something, then you haven't taken that opportunity and changed that quote-unquote luck into something that's positive.
Because as I state, anytime you win in the market, it's luck, because you can't control the outcome. So if you can't control the outcome and it's favorable, you got lucky. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. And I just brought up the chart here for the pound. As you can see, there was news at top of the hour. So this spiky bar right here, the first minute, it was whacked. The spreads were like, I don't know, 15 or so pips on my chart. I just watched. So I let things settle down. And then you can see here, price came back into the zone and gave a short opportunity. Now, if you went long, obviously you probably got your fingers burned here. And if you went short. So sometimes after news events, I guess this was a major news event. But usually if it's major, it's going to move a little bit further.
Yeah, I think it was one of those news events because it was talking about the interest rates for the pound. So it was going to move it, but they came in basically exactly where everybody was predicting. So it moved it, but it moved it basically in a very short space. But I think a lot of folks were really worried about it, and that's why our spreads went wacky on us.
But if you look over the past 4 hours, you can see these ranges, the minimum 60. So there's a lot of pips to be made here.
It's true. I mean, even the range for this hour is already 40 pips.
Yeah, I've got 39 on my screen, but WALMAL and I use different brokers, so sometimes things are off by a pip or two.
But and one of the things I wanted to point out in an article, that was really it really hit home with me, and it was a quote from John Wooden, and the quote was, "The time to prepare isn't after you have been given the opportunity, it's long before that opportunity arises. Once the opportunity arrives, it's too late."
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's kind of like what's going on in the world right now. Those of you who've been following my videos for a year know every now and then, I haven't done it in a while, I put out prepper videos. I used to put them out more often, but after a while, it's almost like trading. It's just repeating yourself. So if somebody wants to see what I have to say about prepping, you can watch the old videos. There's not going to be too much different, even though I'm thinking I should probably put one out. But the point being is that, you have to prepare before the disaster happens. And then when it happens, there's only one goal, and that's to survive. And so, like with trading, you have to prepare before you get that trade opportunity. Because once you get that trade opportunity, you have to take action, and the goal is to make money, to profit. And,
Right.
and it's that simple. Yeah, go ahead, Walmart.
Yeah. I was just going to say that one of the things that really helped me, I don't do it as much as I should anymore, but it really helped me a lot was that before I got into any trade, I took a blank piece of paper and I took a pen and I wrote down why and where I was going to go enter, where and why I was going to exit, and I laid out a plan before I went into every single trade I took. And of course, then what happens is once you get into the trade, none of those reasons matter anymore. But I knew clearly what I was going to go and do going in. I had a battle plan. And of course, as you know, when you go on the battlefield, things change up on you and you have to go in and deal with that. But I was prepared to walk in on those trades. And I think that helped me tremendously.
Yeah. Oh, Walmart, price is right around your 60 area, 119.60. Tell the boys and girls and non-binary traders out there what you've noticed about the price when it ends in 60, that level.
I don't have any statistics to back this up, but what I have noticed over probably the last year or so is that when price hits that 60, it does something. It stagnates at that line. It reacts sometimes even violently to that line, but it's just for whatever reason the GU just has trouble at that line, and I'm not sure what causes that, but it just any 60 line, it just know that it's going to do something there and be prepared to go and react to whatever it does. So like right now, I'm sitting at 63, and so it went through it, and what did it do? It came right back down to go and test it again. There's something about that line. And if you look to the left, it went and even in the last hour, it's gone and tested that line twice before. And it's just, and then you go the hour before that, it tested it again a couple of times. It's just something about that line. It just loves to test it.
Yeah, yeah, you can, in fact, I think, in the, where is it? Yeah, right here. I can, show the boys and girls how to use these indicators here. Right here, you can use the current price on the TRO, X above, X below. You can use like open, high, low, or just the current price there. And then I believe on the above, below, you can actually set a price. So in this case, we could do 119.60 on the above below indicator, and it can tell you how many times it was above it over the past 480 minutes and how many times it was below it right there. Now it looks like I might have to update the cross above and below because I don't have that option. So I guess I've got a little work to do later on. But that is, one of those things about it just takes screen time. But you can see here, right here to the left, there was some, decision making here at the 60, and right now, once again, we're having some decision making at the 60. Of course, you can see that on some other lines too, but Walmal's saying he sees this over and over and over again.
Yeah, it just has some type of, I'm not calling it a magic number or anything like that. It's just something that just stands out. So on my charts, I always go and put a big fat line right there because I know that that's an area that's going to either draw price into it or it's going to go and it's going to bounce off of it. So so I know that going into a trade. So if I've got a trade that's going to occur at the 60 line, sometimes what I do is if I'm prepared to go and be able to react quickly, I'll go and take the trade. But if I'm not, I'm just not going to take that trade because I don't know what it's going to do, and it could go against me pretty badly.
Yeah, and so once again, the opportunity, if and that's why I stress having an exit playbook, because in a market that moves fast, you need to know what you're going to do at +1 pip, +2 pip. I usually like to map it out for the first 10 pips every pip of the way. What am I going to do if it gets here? Am I going to exit or not? And you might say, well, doesn't price move? And if you say exit at 3, and then but you also said exit at 2, it'll never get to 3. Well, that's not necessarily true, because sometimes price just spikes, and we all know
exactly
it.
Right.
Especially on the pound. I mean, we see it sometimes move 5 pips in the blink of the eye. In fact, WALMAL and I each have had our fingers, burned a little bit, where we might be up 3 pips, we go hit exit, and the next thing you know, we're exiting with -1 or -2.
Yeah, and that's happened to me a couple times over the last week or so. And you just got to be, that's part of trading. It's going to happen, and you just have to know that that's going to happen, and don't let it hit your psyche. I mean, yesterday I had that happen to me, and I told TRO that, and I said, you know what, I'm just walking away from the desk for a little bit. I just need to walk away because I need to go and go outside, look at the blue sunshine, and that way I can have a better attitude coming back in and be prepared to go and take on the next trade. Because the wonderful thing about this market is there's always another train that comes into the station. There's always more opportunities, and that's what's wonderful about this. It just it's not one of those things where I missed that trade or I blew that trade up and now I'm done. As long as you get your risk management in place, you know what, you're not done. You can just keep going, because what are you going to lose? The worst you're going to lose is what you're willing to lose. And so you just continue.
Yeah. Now, I was thinking after reading that article this morning, I was thinking we could almost call this the mirror method. But then I got to thinking trading really is a mirror, because once again, it's like, how well do you prepare, to trade? And then it's like, okay. And then an opportunity will present itself. Okay, so you've got preparation, you got opportunity, but that last piece is taking action. I mean, it's the same thing, with any disaster. You can have all the equipment, but if you freeze, deer in the headlights kind of thing, all that equipment and it isn't going to do you any good. All that training beforehand is not going to do you any good. You have to act. And I think sitting at the trading screen, it's just very telling about what kind of person you are. And I guess you can almost talk about it as a habit. Are you in the habit of preparing? Are you in the habit of setting your stop loss? Are you in the habit of following your trading plan to the letter? Or do you have habits where what we used to call, do you airball trades? Because yesterday I think I asked, or one day I asked you, WALMAL, about, do you have a bias? And you told me, well, no, except whatever the H1 candle color is.
Right. And it's because I'm going to react to that. I don't know what this market's going to do. I mean, you think about the pound driven all the way down to 1.4 or whatever it was, 1.14.
Right.
And now today, 2 days later, it hit 1.2. I mean, we're talking 400 or 500 pips, in a matter of a day or two. I don't know what it's going to do. I mean, we had that one day last week where it was 600 pips on one day.
Right.
So I can't have a bias in this market. My bias is, what is the market doing right now? That's my bias, because I'm scalping. My bias is, what is it doing right now? That's my preparedness, to be ready for that. Look at the charts and see what it's doing. And I said to you earlier, I decided not to go and trade the GU today, and I'm actually trading the EU, which is not my pair that I normally do. And the reason why was because it was moving erratically early in the day. Now it seems to have calmed down, and I'll probably go back to the GU. But it was moving erratically. Well, I didn't just jump over to the EU and just immediately start trading it. I've been preparing for that over the last week, and I was telling TRO even at the beginning of the week that, I'm spending a lot of time looking at the EU, learning it, watching it, seeing how that animal breathes, so to speak.
Yeah.
And just so that when I went in and traded, and today I've got 3 trades, up like 9.5 pips after commissions.
Okay, well, Mal, I'm going to have to cut you off because we're just at the end of our 15-minute video. So remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. Get out there and drain the banks.